Nairo Quintana winning solo, which no one could have predicted.
I wonder if anybody put money on Nairo Quintana today.
I doubt it.
I mean, all
much.
our predictions for today
Sam
anyway.
Bennett. Yeah, we were
just
thinking Sam Bennett.
Well, it did look a little bit like it possibly could be a day for the sprinters. I looked at that final climb and thought, I put Gilbert down.
I put the severity of that climb.
No, and a lot of riders.
We just saw that it was 3k long, and obviously you don't assume that it's going to be an average of 9-10%, which is what it was, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was brutal. I mean, we're just looking at the GC. There's riders spread over 9-10 minutes now, and then some big losers. We know won the stage. Roglic, my favourite and your favourite, was in the front. He's still looking very, very good, although he's lost a bit of time yesterday. But yeah, two Brits lost a lot of time.
Yeah, of course, Teo, 7 minutes. Hugh Carthy was there, wasn't he? He actually started the attacks on the foot of that climb.
Yeah, he looked very, very sprightly early on, didn't he?
And also, I think that a lot with Nico was on our after show, obviously on the breakaway, but we're in Calpe, and a lot of teams do their pre-season training camps here in Calpe, and Nico said that they basically come up that climb every day on their way to the hotel. The hotel was 1k from there, and they finished, so they knew the climb very well, and a lot of teams would have been in that position where they knew this climb.
I think that kind of showed. I know I was chatting to Hugh Carthy at the start. He knew the climb, and that's one of the reasons maybe he went early to try and make it difficult and set up Rigoberto, because again, another chat. It wasn't a chat that was recorded, it was an off-the-record one. He said that they are really here for Rigoberto, and I think he tried to tee it up early, but Rigoberto looked really, really good. But because there was steep sections and downhill and flat plateaus, it's a climb that if you go too early, you can get it wrong. But clearly, really well-paced ride by Roglic. Quintana looked the best he's ever looked, I think, for a long time.
That was a group on force and strength. Well, there was nothing lucky about the group that went away, was there?
No.
I mean, Iran was there. Fabio Aru.
That was a bit.
Seen for a long time.
That's good to see.
Yeah.
That's good to see. Nieve.
So it was a brilliant group. But the one I took most pleasure in seeing, Nico Roach, who we all know, lovely lad. He's had a disappointing season, I think, by his own admission, but always rides well at the Vuelta. This is his 10th Vuelta. So,
and he wore the jersey
a couple of years ago.
I think it was 2013. It was the year that Chris Horner ended up winning overall. But Nico, pulled on the jersey for a few days there. He's won stages in this race when he rode for Team Sky a couple of years ago. So it's happy hunting ground, isn't it? But I'm chuffed for him. And it was really funny. An interview we didn't actually show on the breakaway. I spoke to him at the finish. He crossed the line, second place, and was quite, finished second. I felt really good. And we didn't know whether he was leading overall, so we ended up telling him that he'd won overall. He looked so happy. It was really quite nice to be the person that gave him that news, but really chuffed for him. He looks very, very good, didn't he?
And it was great to get him on the show afterwards. We would never have got the red jersey on if it hadn't been Nico, because of course he did part of the coverage in the Giro back in Feltham at Eurosport HQ, or what used to be Eurosport HQ. So great day all round for them, really. But as you say, first 2 days of the Vuelta, I think the one for me now is obviously second on GC at 2 seconds, Nairo Quintana. Disappointing couple of years as a GC rider, but won that stage quite dominantly in the Tour this year. Come out the Tour in good condition, and now is poised to win this Vuelta, I think, the next 3 weeks now.
He's going to take a lot of heart. And
certainly decided the leadership battle at Movistar, hasn't it?
Yeah. I mean, they're going. And the thing that interests me is Arkea Samsic going to be rubbing their hands. I mean, the Arkea Samsic move, if anybody wonders what I'm talking about, pro-continental team, Warren Barguil's team. Apparently it's gone to the board of directors to see if they're going to sign off the deal, because it's going to be a pretty big money deal. But
plus a few riders.
I wonder if his price is still, because his price is going to be going up now. That's a really interesting kind of proposition. But Quintana has to be one of the favourites for this race. He's one of the few riders here that's won it before as well. I won the Giro and the Vuelta. Of course, Aru's here too. But
I think the GC battle is going to come from that group of six.
I think you're right.
Iran, Roach has finished sixth in the Giro before when he was back in the AG2R days. So I think that's your GC there. Maybe a couple of others come from behind for sure. Certainly Valverde will be to the fore. What are they, 25, 30, 40 seconds down?
Yeah, not too far. I mean, there's a big group of about 40 riders that finished at a minute and a half. But as I say, disappointment for Wout Poels as well. I mean, he was the big GC hope for Team Ineos. But David de la Cruz is still in the mix. He's only a minute and a half down, so they're going to really have to kind of reconfigure the British team. And hopefully de la Cruz can pull something out of the bag. But they're going to be bitterly disappointed. And just to reiterate, a chat to me in Stannard at the finish. And nobody realised how hard it was going to be today. I mean, they knew it was going to be grippy, but I think the temperature is over 30 degrees today. Chat to Ben King, you went
Stage
through
one as well.
8 or 9
when
bottles.
You've done a 13k team time trial and all the build up towards the team time trial yesterday, you really don't get a sense first day back on your road bike. So after a few days reconning that course, you get back on your road bike today, and to go up a climb of that severity on day one, having spent a few days on your time, and a big effort yesterday, 15 minutes of effort back to a stage like this, it's always difficult, and some guys are going to be good, some guys aren't going to have it, and Ineos would be bitterly disappointed tonight, wouldn't they?
I think the interesting thing for me, and this is why this race is always fascinating. It's so unpredictable. It's a last chance saloon for a lot of guys, but the parkour, they just mix it up, don't they? But the teams that took up, when you look back at the start of the final climb today with 25k's to go, Hugh Carthy took it up, make it difficult. A load of guys got dropped early on, and then it was Valverde. Clearly, he was looking after Quintana, but Valverde squeezed it, split it over the top, took the mountains points. Then a little group went away just after that.
Yeah.
But
that's Carthy's the one. I mean, you think if he just rode sort of conservative, he may have been in that group at the top.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a funny one. He's never frightened to take it on. I think that's why we love him so much.
Yeah, but when you think about, Hugh, I don't think it's game over at all for Hugh. Only a minute and a half down, but of course, he's looking after Rigoberto around. But I think given the parkour, given the type of terrain we've got, I think there's plenty of opportunities. And just look at the way that he chipped away at the GC back at the Giro, 11th overall, and on one stage lost 15 minutes, but just kept chipping back the time.
Yeah.
I mean,
he'll be there.
Yeah, he'll definitely he'll be fine. He'll be fine, and they'll be very, very happy. EF Education will be very happy with Rigoberto around, and so will the Colombian contingent who are here today.
And tomorrow, I think we're all saying it's going to be a bunch sprint. I'm still thinking Sam Bennett.
It's a couple of third cats, isn't it? It's grippy. And when you look at it, it's nowhere near as hard as today, but it's rolling. It's going to be a grippy day, but I think, there's not that many opportunities for the sprinters in this race. I think a lot of people are going to have really tired legs. I think Brate's going to go early, but do you know what? I don't know if it is going to be a day for the sprinters or not.
I don't know. We keep saying this. I mean, it all depends how they race, and obviously somewhere we're going to try and control it.
Yep.
They'll want to keep that jersey for as long as possible. They've had a disappointing year, haven't they? Lost Tom de Milan in the Giro, and they've never really recovered from that, have they? So Nico has said to us today he wants to hold for at least a couple of days.
Yeah.
And you'd expect Quintana, he's in poised position. Now, they're not going to want to take the jersey, so you can't imagine them challenging too much.
No.
So, it could be a day for the sprinters tomorrow.
Yeah, I think it will. And as you say, with those limited opportunities, there will be a few teams that maybe want to try and take things up.